Thank you so much for joining us here on KREM 2 News at noon. I'm Laura Papetti, and let's begin with weather here at the noon hour. And that means Thomas Patrick. He's joining us outside in the Outdoor Weather Center. Thomas, what do you know?
Yeah, Laura. It's kind of a cold noon hour here. I'd expect this when I first come outside at 5 o'clock in the morning, knowing I got to bundle up. Temperatures are going to be in the 20s. But the weather just hasn't moved at all, especially those thermometers still reading 20s to just barely 30 degrees, as you see in Coeur d'Alene. Let's even zoom in further over Spokane County. I got as good as 31 at Whitworth, but 28 in Spokane. That's the warmest I've seen it today. The coldest was 27 degrees. That's right. It has bounced back and forth between 27 and 28 degrees all morning up to this point. And if this cloud cover doesn't want to move, I have no reason to think that it could really realistically get any warmer than this. Here's the thing, when you look at the satellite imagery, you don't really see much of anything happening across the West Coast. This is technically the infrared satellite imagery, so it doesn't pop up as bright as the visible would, but any low cloud cover sat over our heads is going to keep this cold air basically locked in place. I think at best we'll get to 33, otherwise 32 is probably a pretty good bet as well. So not much movement temperature-wise, going to stay cold and cloudy all day long today. The only question is, how many more days is the weather going to be exactly like this? Because it could be several. So we'll have that and a Northern Lights forecast for you coming up in a few minutes.
All right, my friend, thank you. One of the STA double-decker buses crashed into an overpass in downtown Spokane yesterday. Taking a look at some of this video, this happened in the afternoon on Cedar Street between 1st and 2nd Avenue. STA says the bus was on Route 6 coming from Cheney going to the University District. Route 6 usually does not run on Cedar Avenue, so the bus ended up trying to go under a bridge that obviously, as you can see from video, was too low. The Cedar Street Railroad Bridge is only 12 feet and the bus is over 13 feet tall. 4 people had to go to the hospital. STA says they are investigating the situation and working with the city to figure out what damage was done to the bridge. Now, you may remember this video. Before launching the double-decker buses, Spokane Transit posted this video in July. It made light of concerns that people had raised about the buses not fitting under bridges. When the bus makes it under the bridge, the sign on the front of the bus reads, "Told you so." Of course, this was a different bridge than the one that was hit yesterday. So this morning, it appears that STA has blocked access to the video across their social media accounts. All right, let's take a live look. Well, we're going to go live, I guess, outside to Coeur d'Alene. We were going to take a look at Lumen Field. The Seahawks destroyed the 49ers last night. The Hawks scored 41-6 and are advancing to the NFC Championship. The Hawks will play another division rival, the Los Angeles Rams, coming up Sunday. The Rams beat the Bears last night in overtime, 20-17. They've already beat them once this season, so let's hope that they can do it again. The NFC Championship game is set to kick off this Sunday afternoon, 3:30. The AFC Championship game between the Denver Broncos and the New England Patriots will be here on KREM 2. The Broncos beat the Buffalo Bills this weekend, but they'll be without their starting quarterback. He broke his ankle during the game. The AFC Championship game is Sunday at noon, so lots of football ahead, guys. All right, Airway Heights police arrested 3 people, 2 adults and 1 teenager. The police department says they were connected to a burglary and false statements and reporting. Rudy Parsons and his 15-year-old son were wanted for a burglary at a business on South Garfield Road on Wednesday. Authorities arrested the son and booked him into the Spokane County Juvenile Detention Center, but Parsons had already left. Officers found him at a motel in North Spokane. They arrested him and a woman. An inmate at the Idaho Department of Corrections assaulted a staff member, and that staff member is now in the hospital. Robert Pompa brutally assaulted the 56-year-old staff member in Idaho's maximum security institution. He was taken to the hospital and we're told is in stable condition. Pompa is serving time for murder and battery charges on a correctional officer. He is also serving time for burglary, aggravated battery, and unlawful discharge of a weapon. We do have some new details in a deadly crash in Grant County. Washington State Patrol says a crash happened along State Route 283 just north of George City. They say the driver of the first car crossed over the center line and then hit a second car. The driver of the other car sadly died at the scene. Meantime, the driver suspected of causing the crash was brought to a hospital and will face DUI and vehicular homicide charges.